Big plans from a Manitoba leader who just made history.
Look at what we have done here tonight.
Wab Kinew, set to be the first provincial premier from a First Nation.
You know I'm no angel.
The former rapper framed his long-ago arrest record as proof that anyone can find redemption.
I was given a second chance.
As a broadcaster, he told the story of his father's abuse at residential school. And Wab Kinew joins us now from Winnipeg. Wab, you were a colleague here at the CBC, but once you're sworn in, your title will be Wab Kinew, Premier of Manitoba, so no first names here. And I'm just curious, on the day after the election, how does that title sound?
Well, it sounds like I deserve to be very, very humble because the people of Manitoba have invested our team with this awesome responsibility to form their next government, and really all you can do is feel a great deal of humility and commit to working very hard to repay that debt of gratitude.
In your acceptance speech last night, I think the very first issue you talked about was improving the healthcare system in Manitoba. That is something, as you know, every province is grappling with, and whatever you do, at some point more money will be needed. Do you have a sense of how much more and where it's going to come from?
Well, we've committed to an additional $125 million annually in terms of healthcare staffing in the province. But I also want to make clear that one of the ideas that we talked about in this campaign and that Manitobans, I think, really identified with, particularly those who work in healthcare, is that just adding more money to the same approach is not going to give us the results that we want. We also need a new culture in healthcare. And here I think this is going to help with retention of the staff that we have. If we have a better healthcare and culture that simplifies the bureaucracy and reinvests both resources and decision making at the front lines.
You are a relatively young man, 41, but you've done a lot so far in your life. And I wonder, for people who are watching, particularly outside of Manitoba, give us the thumbnail description, a brief description of who you are.
Well, I was born in Kenora in northwestern Ontario, and my parents took me home to a nearby First Nation called the Ojibways of Enigamig First Nation. We stayed there for a few years, and then I did all my schooling in the city of Winnipeg. Over the years, I've been able to call people at the CBC and other media outlets colleagues. I've done the same at the University of Winnipeg. I worked in the States for a bit in the publishing industry. But really, the profession that I'm pursuing now, which is serving the people of Manitoba at the provincial level, has been the great honor of my life, and I cannot thank the people of Manitoba enough for this opportunity.
Your late father was Indigenous. Your mother, who we saw last night celebrating her birthday alongside you, is not Indigenous. But you know, I don't have to tell you, among Indigenous people today and last night, in and outside of Manitoba, there are some high hopes, but also some high expectations. So when it comes to reconciliation, what changes in Manitoba now?
Well, I hope that young Manitobans from all walks of life understand that you know, the democracy that we have in this province is strong. It's stronger because we know that people from any background, people from any region can participate and serve the public. And I think that that's a strong message that our democracy is moving forward. And because we know that talent is distributed evenly across our entire society, if we can ensure that people from all corners of that society can participate equally, I think that means we're getting an ever-improving standard of contributions in our provincial system. And so I'd hope that young Indigenous person knows that they can make a difference, and that if they show up to vote and participate and serve the public, they're going to be able to move forward. And I'd hope that the non-Indigenous young person feels the same way and also feels like they're part of something exciting that's happening as we bring people together to build the future of Manitoba.
Your message to young people goes deeper than that, though, of course. As a young man, you faced criminal charges. And last night, in your speech, you talked about the importance of second chances. And I want to play a brief clip from that speech.
My life became immeasurably better when I stopped making excuses and I started looking for a reason. So
what exact message are you hoping to send a young person who's had a troubled past, who's in Manitoba, about kind of taking responsibility themselves for turning things around?
Well, when I was young, I made mistakes, and then I smartened up. And last night, after the election was called, I knew that I would have the opportunity to speak to many people in our province and really across Canada and possibly beyond that. And I wanted to use some part of that time to just encourage young people that if you want to live a positive life, if you want to do good things for yourself, for your community, for this country that we love, then you can do so. It starts with you, but my view of government is that a government should be there to support people and help them once they've taken that first step towards making their life better and towards making a positive contribution. And so really, I do view leadership as having a responsibility to address policy issues for sure, but also to send a message to the general population about the province and society that we want to live in. And so the comments that you played there were part of that approach that I would like to bring forward, which is to just use some of the opportunity that I have before me to hopefully share some words that may help a young person out there, that they may be able to use in their lives to make things a bit better.
As a former TV reporter, you'll understand we're tight for time, but I do want to put at least one more question to you. The federal government has announced $750,000 is going to be set aside for assessing the feasibility of searching that Winnipeg area landfill for the remains of 2 First Nations women. From your perspective as the incoming premier, are you personally committed to making sure that search takes place?
I am, and I would like to work with the other levels of government, both the federal and municipal governments in this part of the province to ensure that it happens. But first and foremost, I want to work with the families. This is about dignity and this is about respect for the family members of victims who were the victims of one of the worst crimes that's ever happened in Manitoba's history. And so we need to show them respect, and making a good faith effort on this search is one way that we can do that, and it's a very important way at that.
I hope I can ask you to answer this question in 30 seconds. What do you hope your win last night represents?
You know, I think the people of Manitoba came out to vote for health care. They came out to vote for affordability. But underlying both of those messages was Manitobans rejecting the message of division that was on offer from our opponents and embracing a message of unity. We've been divided so much these last 3 years. I think Manitobans, as with many Canadians, were hungry for a message of bringing people together once again.
Wab Kinew, congratulations on the win, and a real pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you so much, Ian.
Coming up, a refugee crisis spills out onto the streets.
Hoping that they will take me because I have no other place to go.
How one church stepped in to help. Next. A tiny church steps up on a mission of mercy.
Just choose the one you would like.
Giving desperate migrants food and a bed.
I have no other place to go.
The congregation pays for it all.
So we get a lot of thank yous, job well done, but no action after that.
Even as they help Canada live up to its caring image. So far this year, more than 14,000 people seeking asylum have come to Canada. The government has spent millions to help them, but does that money get to where it's needed? Nick Purdon breaks down on how the churches like this are filling a major gap.
Hello. Hello. Hey guys, I need your help just to do a quick cleanup because this is a bedroom for everyone tonight. When we as individuals say to someone, go back to your country, go back to what? Go back to a place where somebody will take your life? The church has become a safe haven, a refugee camp that we never expected to be.
Throughout history, Canada has developed a reputation for helping refugees. People all over the world who don't feel safe try to come here. But in the past few months, hundreds of refugees with no place left to go were left to sleep on our streets. Is Canada still a welcoming place for refugees?
So this is our dining room by day, but bedroom at night. So every spot here is taken up.
So people sleep on all these?
All of these.
Nadine Miller is a director with Pilgrim Feast Tabernacles Church.
This is spicy.
Yeah, that one's spicy.
Okay.
They're using this restaurant, run by the church, to help almost 200 refugees.
It's a shelter now, and it shouldn't have to be. I need to get some kiwis out in a silver bowl. I'm coming.
As Nadine helps prepare lunch, another refugee arrives looking for a place to sleep.
Give us 1 second, please.
The man in the white hoodie is Augustin. He was brought here by a Torontonian who found him sleeping on the street. Nadine doesn't have a bed for him, but she doesn't want to turn him away.
We're full right now. Like, you're standing on somebody's bed. This is what I'd say. He can do lunch with us.
Please, help him.
It's not that I want to say no. It's just that we like to ask him to sit down and sleep on a chair. It's hard. The city shelters overrun themselves. Just let him eat something and then we'll figure it out.
Please, please. It's from Nigeria.
I'm a Jamaican.
They say Nigeria.
Refugees like Augustin arrive here every single day.
Sandwiches.
That's because shelters in Toronto are full since the pandemic. And just this summer, more refugees arrived in Canada than all of 2021. Many of them fleeing the 35 armed conflicts going on in Africa right now.
You guys can have avocado. Just choose the one you would like.
Nadine has been volunteering here for months, and she tells me she's exhausted.
I don't have a life right now. This is my life right now. I eat, breathe, sleep, and barely sleep. I think I get about 4 hours sleep a night.
Nadine has been able to create a refugee shelter here almost overnight because she's run several humanitarian missions overseas with her church.
We've created a modern-day mission field inside of Canada, right here on 9-8 Albion. Normally, we do this internationally, and it's mind-blowing to know that we have to do it in Canada.
My name is Augustine, and I'm from Nigeria. So I've been here in Canada for a week plus now. So I've been on the streets, moving from one place to another, trying to see anybody that can help me.
Augustine tells me he feared for his life in Nigeria because he got caught up in a violent separatist conflict. You've been here so far, a little over a week. What's been your experience so far?
I'm so happy that I'm here, that I'm no longer living in hiding like I was living back home. I couldn't come out to the daylight. I was always indoor, scared of any sound I hear outside. So since being in Canada, I have a relief. Yeah, so.
Augustine says that right now, he's just tired and needs a place to sleep. Okay, so you're going to stay here and see what happens.
And see what happens, yes. I'm hoping that they will take me because I have no other place to go.
Nadine still isn't sure if she can get Augustine a place to sleep for tonight, but she's already thinking ahead. She's trying to get him a warm coat for the coming winter.
What's your coat size?
Coat size is...
Extra large?
No.
All of this is for you.
What I found out is Nadine is not alone. With hundreds of refugees having arrived in Toronto in the last few months, there are other people filling in the gaps. Ryan Agard is a Toronto firefighter. He organizes weekly food drives for the refugees, and today he's delivering to the Miracle Arena Church.
As a human being, this is how we should be treating each other and helping each other out. We're here together, so to assist others and, you know, just to set the example of how we do things as Canadians.
Isaac Opong is the pastor at this church, and he shows me what they're doing to house the 47 refugees who now live here.
So over here now, we have the tiny homes. This one we put together maybe about 6-7 hours.
You built this in 6-7 hours?
6-7 hours we put it together. Ourselves, our newcomer family, the refugees that were helping us, they were happy to do something like this because it's exciting for them.
Everything that's been done here for the refugees has been paid for by the congregation. $55,000 so far.
This is, we just built a little porch. We're gonna do a little railing just so they can have a sitting out area.
Right. Isaac says he's asked for help from government, but he's only received promises.
So we get a lot of thank yous, job well done, but no action after that. So everybody comes by and then they applaud us and it stops there. So we're not doing this for applause, we're not doing this for thank yous, we're doing this for results.
Isaac tells me that more tiny homes are on their way, but he doesn't know how long his church can continue to help.
Okay.
Nadine still hasn't been able to find a place for Augustine to stay.
I need somebody to help me.
This place is full, and she wants me to see what that looks like.
So we're just gonna go down and see what our church space has turned into. Basically a shelter bedroom.
Wow. Down here where the men sleep, there's no room for another bed. And I understand how precarious this situation really is, and the extent of the help Nadine is providing. When you come down here and you look around, what do you think about?
That this could be somebody's father, mother, my own. That they shouldn't really be here. That's what I think about. How do I get them home? How do I get them to turn their own key?
If you hadn't done this, turned your church into a shelter, where do you think these men would be?
It actually makes me sad to think that they would be out on the streets still, because there's no one to pick them up.
And Nick tells us that Augustine, the migrant from Nigeria, managed to squeeze into a bed at the Pilgrim's Feast Tabernacle Church. He's living there and he has claimed refugee status. Now he's waiting for a work permit. And here's a look at another story we're working on. David Common went to Ghana to break down how Western countries like Canada keep luring away much needed nurses.
I've seen quite a number of my nurses leave on monthly basis, and it's quite devastating.
Dr. Kennedy Bryson doesn't blame his registered nurses for seeking opportunity abroad, but he is critical of countries that take those nurses and do nothing for Ghana.
So Canada is benefiting tremendously. The United States is benefiting. UK is benefiting. But those of us who are doing the training are not benefiting.
Coming up next, this fuzzy fashion statement was the belle of the ball at Paris Fashion Week.
Model dressed as giant furball gets lost on runway at Christian Cohen.
How the walking pom-pom nearly collided with a pop star in our moment. So, believe it or not, this is an outfit. It was designed by Christian Cohen and made its runway debut at Paris Fashion Week, but things did not go exactly as planned. The model could barely see out the stylish costume. That caused quite the commotion, including a near miss with performer Sam Smith. The fashion faux pas is our moment. Sam Smith was performing on stage at Paris Fashion Week, but it was a giant walking furball that stole the show.
Model dressed as giant furball gets lost on runway at Christian Cohen.
Model My John Woods, who wore the outfit, nearly collided with the singer, saying she could only see vague shapes and shadows while walking the runway.
Sam Smith pushing it away lol.
She managed to wobble to the front but crashed into spectators, then later fell down. Woods needed 7 people to lift her back onto her feet.
Rescued.
Despite his chaotic runway debut, a spokesperson for the designer, Christian Cohen, says there's already an interested buyer for the furry fashion item, proving style is in the eye of the beholder. So, huge mistake or brilliant PR move? You can decide. One thing I was wondering is, would Sam Smith be enraged at this fashion designer for putting them at risk? But it turns out they're partners, so presumably they, didn't get too mad at each other, especially if they planned it out. Anyway, thanks for being with us. You can watch anytime, anywhere on the free CBC News app and subscribe to the National's YouTube channel. I'm Ian Hanomansing.